You probably clicked on this video because you want to grow a successful channel and business. You want clarity on how to do that, and you want to do that quickly. Now, I hate to break it to you, but AI is not some shortcut to riches with zero work. You still need to create great content, get traffic, and move people to offers they want to buy. However, what AI can massively help with is creating the plan that makes success far more likely, and I'm going to be breaking down exactly how to do that here. I know firsthand that a big reason why new creators struggle is that they don't have confidence that what they're doing is going to lead to success. But when you have confidence, it creates instant motivation and excitement because you believe that your effort is going to get you what you want. This is exactly what I want to help you achieve here and show you how to plan and build your own successful creator business with AI. But like any tool, it needs to be used in the right way. But before we get to creating your specific strategy, how exactly do you build a successful business as a creator? Well, it's not really that complicated. First, you need attention, which for the vast majority of creators will come from their content. Create enough content to serve a specific audience for long enough, and you'll develop attention that can be leveraged in different ways. This can be selling merchandise, selling products as an affiliate, sponsorship deals, or selling your own digital products and services. That's the vast majority of the creator economy in a nutshell. So the first lesson I want you to take from this is that building a business from something like a YouTube channel is not that complicated, which I hope you see as a comfort. Because we have a natural tendency to assume that if something is difficult, then it must be complex. And I know I've fallen into this trap too. In all of the years where I was struggling to make things work, I'd constantly think, there must be something I'm missing here. I need a better funnel, or maybe a more engaging email sequence, or a webinar that says just the perfect words to make the sale. And yes, while improving marketing skills will help you increase various metrics across your viewer and customer pathway, leading to more views, leads, and sales, ultimately, a great creator business is just building up enough authority and trust through your content over time so that you can organically move your viewers to your great offers more often. That's it. So, the core things you want to have clarity and confidence in are your content, i.e. how you show up, what you talk about and become known for, the problems you solve, your story and values, and then your offers. The specific products and services you offer to solve your audience's problems on a deeper level and/or with more support. Like I said, there's a bit more to the marketing and how you offer your products, but ultimately, if you can have confidence in those two things and be fully motivated and focused on building those products while sticking with the content plan long enough to begin leveraging the attention you're getting, you're putting yourself in a really strong position. So with that said, how do we get clarity and confidence on these things? Well, for this, we're going to turn to AI and use a tool that I've built to guide us through this process, drawing on my decade of experience, as well as what some of the best creator economy minds are saying today. Do this right and it will put you ahead of 99% of people just getting started. And this is a completely free tool, by the way, which I'll leave a link to down in the description. But I'd suggest watching this now to see it in action, then go through the process yourself using the video as your guide. Okay, let's get stuck into it. Okay, so to jump straight in, all we need to do is click Let's Get Building, and then it's going to start to ask us some questions to help us develop our brand and content strategy, as well as our offers that we want to create for our business and offers that make sense. So part 1 is going to be brand and content strategy, and then part 2 is going to be fleshing out those offers that make sense for our business. So the first question is, what is your desired outcome? Be specific. What do you ultimately want to achieve with your brand and creator business? And then it gives you some examples here. And then really you're just looking to define your vision and the big thing that you want for this business. And I'm going to edit out me typing out as well as the text generation for ChatGPT so we can get through this quicker. And also this is going to be based on the exact process that I went through when I started this business and this channel that you're now going through. So that's going to help you see how I came to the decisions with the types of content I make and then the future products that I eventually create, the lead magnets I have, all of that type of stuff. Okay, so my first answer is I want to build a brand that helps people start and grow online businesses, ultimately helping them create freedom doing work that they love. So then it says, based on that outcome, what transformation do you have to become known for, or what ultimate goal are you helping people achieve? And again, it's got a couple of examples, and then this is actually quite new for ChatGPT 5. I've done this before with older models, and it doesn't actually give contextual examples. So that's really, really cool. So it's given me some ideas there to think about based on the business that I've already told them about. But for me, it's going to be, I want to take people from overwhelmed beginners with a desire to do more meaningful work to successful creator business owners that love what they do and have all the time and financial freedom they could ever want. Okay, so now we're moving on to the brand journey framework and how we're going to turn this into action and really get thinking about what you need to do to actually achieve those things. So the next question is, what do you have to do to be known for that? So thinking in terms of consistent actions and not just intentions. So what consistent actions would you need to take so your audience begins to associate you with helping them build successful creator businesses? So I said, to consistently create insightful and practical content on the key pillars I used to build a successful creator business, showing up authentically and sharing my own successes, struggles, and failures that relate to the journey my audience is on, and to show that I'm practicing exactly what I preach. So now we need to start thinking about what you actually need to learn to be able to do those things effectively. So thinking about where you are now, what you currently know, what's the things that you need to start to learn to be able to create that content and start to produce the stuff that you want to produce. Now, you're not going to know all of this, but just thinking in broader terms, what do you not know how to do to go and create great videos? So for the most part, those are going to be skills around how to create good YouTube videos. And I should say good enough YouTube videos. We don't need to learn everything at this point. We just need to learn how to create a video that delivers some value and solves a problem for a person in particular. So for me, I said I already have experience in another business. So for me, I just need to keep learning from the content I'm producing, as well as keeping on top of what's working on YouTube and the creator economy as a whole. And again, I don't expect you to know every answer here, but just think about the knowledge gaps that you currently have to be able to create videos and do what you need to do and list it here, because that's essentially going to become your checklist of things that you need to do later. Okay, now we're moving on to brand associations and thinking about how people think and feel when they hear your name. So what are the 3 to 5 core attributes or concepts that you want your audience to think of when they hear your name? So for me, I went with authentic because I want people to think that, I'm a real person and I've done the things that I've said I'm actually doing. High value, I want people to take value from everything that I do. Every piece of content that I create and everything that I put out should be high value. And just vastly over delivers on the price of admission, whether that's free or whatever it is they're paying for my stuff. I want to be relatable so that they can see me in their journey, trustworthy, they trust me enough to follow me, and then practical, again, just giving people advice that they can go in action and start to get results from that stuff. So now it's the opposite of that, and what are the topics, styles, or associations you want to actively avoid being linked with? So just thinking of the stuff in your niche or the area you're looking to move into, and the stuff that you don't like, the types of traits and qualities you see in people that you don't like, that you don't necessarily think are approaching their craft with integrity, and let that be your guide. For me, it was get rich quick. It was being a fake guru, of which there are many these days, being negative and not taking fire and tearing other people down to make themselves appear better. And then I don't want to be seen as money-centered either. I think this is a big thing, and as we move through this, you're going to see this is a big part of how I see things, that people that just talk about money, that's just not the way that I want to approach this, as you will soon discover. Okay, next question, and a difficult one. Looking at your industry or your niche, what is the gap you can fill or a unique angle you can own? This is very difficult to do if you're right at the beginning. So the way that I would normally tell people to think about this is basically look at your story and what is it about your story, your journey, and you personally that makes you unique relative to other people. That's probably going to be the easiest place to find your unique angle and something that makes you a bit different. So it can be about the way that you talk about things. It can be about, again, like it says here, the philosophy, the way you deliver something or something you disagree with. But if you can't think about anything around that, then just think about how your story or your journey just might have some hidden nuggets of uniqueness that you can blend into your brand and your content. So for me, I said a lot of talk in the creator economy is about how to make money, but while money is an aim, my angle will be that freedom and doing meaningful work are the metrics for success. Also, it took me a lot longer to achieve my results than many others will let on, but this is something that I won't hesitate to share as I feel it makes me more relatable. And then finally, I can show my work and results in a completely different business outside of the make money online niche, which is a business I'm still actively growing. And then it gives you a nice summary of the positioning, which I think is really good reading it back. Okay, so now we're moving on to the brand story framework, which is going to be in 3 parts. So the first is, what is your brand's catalyst? So why does your brand exist? So what is it that pushed you to start this journey and create this business or create this channel? So for me, I want people to experience the same joy that comes from being able to leave a job you hate for a business that brings purpose, fulfillment, and freedom. Nice and strong why. And then the next part of this is, what is your core truth? So what's a core conviction you hold, possibly different from others? What part of your personality or perspective makes you different? And why should your audience care? This is quite similar to the previous question, so don't worry too much if you feel like you're overlapping here. It's just another way of asking a similar question to get you thinking about how you might be different, which again, if we look at the example it's now provided, it's essentially what I said before. So for me, I phrased it like this. My conviction is that many people are not actually motivated by money, and that just having money will not bring fulfillment. Aiming for work you really want to do that allows you to live the life you want on your terms should be the end goal. And this will go against some of the bigger names that are just talking about, hustling and just making money and that being the thing that you're really pushing to do. Okay, the final piece on the brand story framework is, how will you provide proof? How will you consistently demonstrate your catalyst and core truth through actions, content, examples, or case studies? What specific ways will you show your audience that you truly embody your message? So I said, initially, I will share stories and successes of things that are working for me in my business and what got me to this point, while also sharing my values and beliefs through my content. I will never shy away from sharing my struggles too, to continue to hit home that get rich quick is not a thing. And then as the business grows, I will draw upon clients' stories and successes as well. Okay, so now we're moving on to content strategy and starting to figure out the things you're actually going to be talking about and the things you'll stand for from a content perspective. So the question is, with the end goal or transformation you have in mind for your audience or your customers, what are the 2 to 3 primary topic pillars you will focus your content on? Okay, jumping back in front of the camera for a second, I want to quickly explain how to approach finding your topic pillars, because I'm someone who believes you don't need to be hyper-focused on a small niche to succeed on YouTube or with your creator business. And if you're anything like me, the idea of talking about the same narrow topic again and again just bores me to tears. So the way I approach it is to think of one single person trying to achieve a goal or a mission they might be on, and then consider what are the big problems or interests that this person has. So for me in this business, my pillars are the creator business model, which predominantly will be talking about building audiences on YouTube, as well as how to create and sell your own digital products from that channel. Then we have AI, where I occasionally talk about how to use it as part of the creative workflow, as you're experiencing right now. And then finally, personal growth, talking about the challenges that come with growing YouTube channels and creator businesses, because I just really love talking about that stuff. And while you could argue that they're all separate topics that you could build businesses around, every single piece of content I create from one of these topic pillars will be aimed at that single person who's on a mission to start and grow a successful creator business. And this is how you can broaden the topics you talk about without the content and business feeling disjointed. Okay, we're about to jump back into it, but really quickly, if you're enjoying this video, it would be hugely helpful if you would hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be doing everything I can to create the best videos that help you on this journey, and I would love for you to join us. Okay, let's crack on. Okay, so like I just said, my 3 pillars are the creative business model, AI, and personal development. So now we want to know, what is the one primary content medium that you can consistently create without burning out? Now, really quickly, I think that everyone should focus on long form as one of your key content pillars, because it's the very best way to create deeper connections and more loyal followings, because you just have more time with people and you can go deeper into different subjects and just create that connection in a way that short form just can't. So for me, it's things like doing YouTube videos, it's doing podcasts if you prefer, or doing long newsletters. For me, it's out and out YouTube, because I think it's the very best platform and best way to create these audiences. So that's what it's going to be for me. But just think about what you want for your business moving forward and the types of content that you want to create. Okay, so now it's asking, which 2 to 3 key platforms will you prioritize? And I realize now that the previous answer should have been video, because that's what it's actually asking me, what is the content medium, but I'm so focused on video being YouTube. It's basically the only way to be for long form video, so that's why I put it in there. But anyway, yeah, so it's going to be YouTube, for obvious reasons. Substack, which is a new and up-and-coming email newsletter platform, which is not just a way to build a list and grow your email list, but also the content on there is searchable, it's indexable, and it's just becoming a smart place to put your long-form content. So what I'm actually doing is my scripts from my YouTube videos, I'm just tweaking slightly so that they work nicely in written form, and I'm using that to build out my Substack as well. And then I've put Instagram and TikTok here because to me they're basically the same thing. The idea being that I will repurpose shorts and reels from my YouTube videos. So I'm hoping it's going to tell me that that's basically the same thing. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. And Instagram and TikTok for short form reach and discoverability. Well done, ChatGPT. Okay, next question. What is a realistic and sustainable initial posting cadence for you on your primary platform? So for me, it's exactly what it is right now, once a week. For you, you might not know this right now. Just go with your best guess. Try not to overstretch yourself in the beginning because you'll just get despondent if you can't stick to that. I think if you're doing YouTube videos that are 10 to 20 minutes long, I think 2 videos a month is a good goal initially if you're just getting started. But if you've got a bit more experience, then 1 video a week is a really good cadence. So that's what I'm going to go with here. Okay, and that is the end of part 1, and it's asking me if I want to compile this into a summary, but we're going to do that at the end once we've finished part 2, so we have it all in one place. So really quickly, I'm going to jump back in front of the camera and talk to you a bit before we get to building out our offer stack. Something I want to stress at this point is that this is just a starting point for you to move forward, both in terms of your content pillars and the offers you're about to plan out. These things can change as you move forward, and they probably will, but it's still a brilliant exercise for getting your juices flowing and your head around what your business could look like. And like I said, as you gain more clarity and confidence from this process, it's only going to help you move forward faster with more motivation and excitement, which will just make success a lot more likely. Okay, now you're about to see the true power of AI for this type of thing as we develop your offers. And some of you may even realize you've been using AI wrong all along. Okay, let's crack on. Okay, so to carry on, we're just going to say no. Let's continue straight to part 2. So the first question is, how do you prefer to help people? So thinking about the core ways in which people do that is one-to-one interactions. This could be coaching or consulting or services. One-to-many teaching, where you might be doing programs and workshops and courses, or scalable self-paced resources, where people might be going through courses that have zero support, ebooks, templates, that type of thing. So for me, one-to-many teaching is my preferred method, but I'm open to all options for different levels of products. Okay, so step 1 is defining a lead magnet. So the question is, what's a simple checklist, short guide, template, or mini training you could create that would help an overwhelmed beginner creator make progress quickly? And then it gives us some answers here. So this is where we're going to start to really stretch things and understand how AI can really help us. So yes, this tool is going by some guidelines that I have outlined, but it's not going to be rigidly stuck to those guidelines. So for instance, we could say, could you give me some ideas for people who are in the early stages of their creator business, something that would be good as a short downloadable PDF? And as we can see, it started to spit out some ideas here. What have we got? Business launch, AI prompts, creator mindset. I don't really like any of those. So let's just say I've got an idea that I think one of the most valuable things for creators in the beginning is getting clarity on their niche and what they're actually going to talk about. So let's say we tell it, how about something that helps creators get clarity on their niche, the topics they'll talk about, and the problems they'll solve? Can you give me some examples around that, please? And you should always be polite. Okay, looking at these, what have we got? So I think number 3 is there or thereabouts for what I'm looking to achieve. Now, in actual fact, I'm not looking to create a PDF. This tool that I've created here is going to be my lead magnet. But the idea of creating a tool like this might be quite daunting for you, or maybe it's just completely irrelevant to your niche. So going with something like a PDF is a really good first step. So let's just say, let's go with number 3. And then it's actually spat out an outline of how this could look, which is great. And again, if I wanted to, I could just spend more time here and use this time to flesh out what this PDF could be. And then you could take it to a different tool that would actually build it all for you. And then you can tweak it after the fact. But for now, let's just say this looks good. And I'm just going to say No, let's move to the next step. So now it's asking what our low ticket offer could be, which is something in the region of $10 to $100. So for me, I'm going to say, I like the idea of getting people to consistently take action. So let's go with some sort of challenge that helps people consistently create YouTube content so they can hone their skills, gain confidence, and build habits that will help them keep going. Maybe something like 4 videos in 4 weeks could work. How might that look? Okay, let's see what it's given us. 4 videos in 4 weeks challenge, delivery methods, week 1 clarity planning, pick 4 video ideas, filming and confidence. I mean, this is really good. I mean, this is stuff that years ago you would just have to sit and come up with straight out of your own mind. So like I said right at the top, this is just one massive shortcut to clarity on things that you can be doing. It's not going to be the exact thing that you do, but just getting those cogs turning much quicker and getting ideas that you feel confident moving forward with. This stuff is just so good. And I'd obviously take this away and I'd tweak it myself based on what I know about people just starting out on YouTube and the things they need to be thinking about, but this is a really solid starting point. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So let's just say, let's move to the mid-ticket offer. Right, and what is it said here? A couple of directions you can take. It's almost like it's picking up that I'm asking for ideas each time, so it's now doing that for me straight away, which is really cool. So option 1, signature group program. Yeah, so it's all centered around the same thing. So it's understanding what my business is. So it knows I want to help people grow on YouTube as well as make money and create a real business. So it's thinking of that every single time. So I already know, and it's factoring that into these offers, which again is really cool and not something I've necessarily seen in previous models. So that's really cool. So I think option 1 is literally perfect. It would be, as this business is quite new, it would be something that I would do live initially. So the training will be delivered on weekly live calls, and there'd be modules and a community as part of that, taking people from clarity to taking action, and then building the foundations of a business that actually makes money is perfect. Yeah, that's exactly right. So in this case, I will say option 1 is perfect. Let's go with that at an early bird rate of $997. And then it's just locked that in for me and given me some ideas on how I could space that out. That's really good. And again, I could spend some more time workshopping this and fleshing out how I want this to look. But that's not what we're going to do right now. That completes our offer stack. Okay, that looks really good. So let's say yes, create a comprehensive summary document of part 1 and 2, please. Okay, now it's spat that out and it's gone back and pulled out all the answers and stuff that we did for phase 1, part 1, which is the brand and content strategy. Desired associations, non-associations. And it's just putting it all into a handy summary that we can use as our compass and our North Star for how we move forward and what we continue to focus on to make sure we are aligned with what we really want for our business. Content strategy. Again, this is all the answers I put in. And then the offer stack as well. And then it's given us execution and iteration plans. This is a lot of this is advice that I would give. We'll talk about the offers in a second and how you might focus on this if you're just starting out. Immediate first steps. You can take these with a pinch of salt. I mean, it's just giving you an idea and what this roadmap has given you. And now you can just copy this however you want and move that somewhere where you can consistently refer to it or change it over time if you feel your business changing. But what this has done is given you a very, very solid starting point for your business that is going to put you ahead of 99% of people that are just starting and just sort of winging it right out the gate. Now, I fully appreciate that you're still going to have a lot of questions and uncertainty about how to turn this into a successful business, but remember, it doesn't have to be that complicated. My advice at this stage would be to finalize your content pillars, plan the first 3 to 5 pieces of content you're going to create, then start creating it aiming for good enough and not perfect. If your goal is YouTube videos and you're just starting out, learn the basic fundamentals of what makes a good video and then just start creating. I'll leave a link in the description to a good video I made that goes into how I turned my motorcycle channel around and the key changes I made to my videos to get vastly better results. You can watch that video later, but that video alone is going to teach you a great starting point. But please don't get stuck in tutorial hell learning YouTube. You're much better off learning the basics and then creating, rather than continually consuming. So that's your content, but what about your offers? So we focused on mapping out a lead magnet, low ticket offer, and mid ticket offer. Once your content is rolling, I'd recommend creating your lead magnet first to begin growing your most valuable asset, your email list. This can be done relatively quickly with the help of AI like we've just discovered, but make sure it's genuinely valuable. Then I would start to flesh out what your mid or high ticket offer could be. For your mid-ticket offer, this could be an 8 to 12 week program like we just discussed. But to make it a high-ticket offer, you could just offer this same transformation in one-to-one form. So you go through the same process to get the same result, but you do it directly with each client, instantly raising the value. If you're new to this, then working one-to-one is actually where I would start because it's a fantastic way to hone your skills, get people results, and develop your methodology. Then when you have a few case studies and you know your process, turn that into a more scalable mid-ticket offer when you work with groups instead of one-to-one. And that's pretty much it. And as you're starting to grow your audience, you just need to organically mention your offers across your videos, being sure to include the links to them in the description. Again, there is more that you can do to improve how many leads and sales you get, but in the beginning, I'd suggest not overcomplicating it. Just get these fundamental pieces in place first, and you can work on how you improve those metrics later. This is all I would focus on for the next 6 to 12 months. Consistently create great content, and when your offers are in place, regularly mention and move people towards them. You may be surprised at just how well you can do just doing this alone. Now, I know that many of you are still going to be tempted to keep learning before truly getting started, so I'd highly encourage you to watch this video here, where I go into why YouTube tutorials are actually killing your progress and how to approach learning and taking action instead for much more progress in less time. But outside of that, thank you so much for joining me for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.